So this kid with some serious issues legit unlocked a god-tier class, but everyone clowned on him saying his life was toast. Why? 'Cause the class he got was just some lame life skill profession. A butcher, stuck chopping up pigs forever. But here's the kicker in his eyes. Every single one of them already looked like a squealing pig-headed monster. Over at the Chingchong First People's Hospital, Yichuan was sitting across from this lady doctor with rimless glasses. The summer heat was so intense her white coat was all damp and you could kind of make out her figure. After checking out Yichuan's chart, the doc frowned, giving him a total side-eye. So you're telling me every living thing you see looks like a pig, like even me? Yep, Yichuan nodded. Such a cute kid. Total shame, she thought. Then the doc unbuttoned her white coat, opened it up, and leaned right into his personal space. And now what do you see? 2 pigs. Her jaw just about hit the floor, and she super rushed through the rest of his physical. Then she wrote on his chart, physical functions are normal, but he has 0 game for older women. I mean, duh. If every girl looks like a pig to you, it'd be super weird if you were into it. Okay, I think I know what's going on. The doctor sighed, looking down at the scan in her hand. Hey, your spine is seriously messed up. She grabbed a plastic spine model from her desk and pointed. See, it's super deformed, and it's pressing on the nerves to your brain and eyes. That's pretty much why everyone looks like a pig to you. The only fix is surgery, but it's crazy risky. If it goes wrong, you could be paralyzed from the neck down for life. Yichuan just stared at the pig-headed figure in the white coat in front of him, and gave a little nod like he was only half listening. He held out his hand. Hey, doc, you finished 'cause I'd like my spine back now. The doctor just froze on the spot, and then wrote on his chart with this super conflicted look on her face, mental conditions seriously not normal. A little while later, Yichuan was out of the hospital and on a bus heading to school. For as long as he could remember, everyone looked like a pig, call it a sickness or whatever, but it never really messed up his daily life. Well, except when it came to finding a girlfriend. Because let's be real, Yichuan wasn't some freak who was into pigs. He was really hoping to get this whole thing sorted before the class change ceremony, but yeah, that was clearly not happening. By the time Yichuan got back to Chingchong High, this tall, pretty girl came rushing over. Yichuan, you're finally here. I was so worried if you were any later, I swear I would have decked you. Suling Xuan puffed out her cheeks, faking being mad, while shaking her tiny pink fist. But to Yichuan, she just looked like a pink pig standing on 2 legs waving its hooves. All around them, you could hear people whispering and snickering. There goes Suling Xuan attached at the hip to Yichuan again. They're always showing off their whole childhood sweethearts thing. Grew up together, basically joined at the hip. I bet they get married the second the class change ceremony is over. Hearing everyone teasing Suling Xuan's face got even redder. But she stayed right by Yichuan's side, looking up at him with total adoration, like he gave her all the confidence in the world. Yichuan got totally creeped out. I mean, if you were getting stared at all lovingly by a pig, you'd probably feel the same way. Silence. Get in line according to your student numbers. The awakening ceremony is starting now, the principal's strict voice echoed. In the center of the square, there was this massive dark crystal glittering with colors like a night sky. So in this world, there are 3 main stats: strength, agility, and spirit. The higher your stats are, the better your shot is at getting a high-tier class. Nailing an advanced combat profession was basically a cheat code for life, a total game changer. The first kid stepped up looking all nervous and excited. After a second of silence, the awakening crystals gave off this faint white glow. Life class profession, intermediate fitter. Principal Xiaoming just calmly shook his head while he announced it. The student slowly sank to the ground, looking completely crushed. The second student stepped up. Life class profession, low-level engineer. Then the third went, then the fourth. More than 20 kids in a row got nothing but life skill classes. But finally, when the 24th student went up, the awakening crystal just burst with this brilliant gold light. Principal Xiaoming's eyes instantly lit up. A golden glow. This was a rare class. Even if it was just a life class, that kid could still be raking in tens of thousands a month after graduation, which is way more than average. But when Xiaoming saw the actual class, he got totally pumped. Combat profession, rare class, Shadowless Bladesman student, what's your name? His eyes were practically burning with excitement. With a rare combat class, this guy was basically a shoo-in for Chingchong High's list of legendary alumni. Principal, my name is Lu Jinglong. Lu Jinglong. What a great name. Go take a break for now. Later, I'm gonna personally come to your house to chat with your parents about your future. Zhao Ming gave him a warm pat on the shoulder. Thank you, Principal. Lu Jinglong's voice was trembling with excitement, and he knew from that moment on his entire life had changed. The awakening ceremony kept rolling, and pretty soon it was Yichuan's turn. You can do it, Yichuan! Suling Xuan cheered, her cheeks blushing. Yichuan took a deep breath and stepped onto the altar, even though he had a bad feeling he was just going to end up with a lame life class profession. But he was holding on to one last sliver of hope. Your average person only had like 3 stat points total, but his stats added up to a crazy 10 more than 3 times the norm. Maybe, just maybe, a miracle was about to drop. The second Yichuan put his hands on the awakening crystal, an insane pillar of blood-red light just exploded into the sky. The whole crowd totally lost it, just gasping and whispering like crazy. Red light. What rank is that even? I have no idea. All I know is legendary is black, epic is purple, rare is yellow, and everything else is just plain white. Principal Xiaoming's jaw basically hit the floor. God tier, no way, it's actually God tier. Our Qinghai actually popped off with a God tier class. Old man Xiaoming had been principal forever, and had never seen anything close to a legendary. And now, right before he was supposed to retire, fate just dropped a God tier awakening in his lap. The universe was finally giving him a break. He was probably already dreaming about a promotion before he bounced. But when Xiaoming finally saw Yichuan's actual class, he just froze. A life class. A God tier asterisk butcher asterisk. He gritted his teeth, breathing hard, his chest feeling like it was gonna explode. A God tier profession, and it had to be a life class of freaking asterisk butcher asterisk. Was the universe just trolling him now? Even life class God tiers were basically priceless. God tier blacksmiths, healers, alchemists. The type that every combat class would be kissing up to. But a butcher, who in their right mind is gonna suck up to a pig slicer. A God tier butcher is still at the end of the day just a butcher. It's like bedazzling a GTX 1060 graphics card. No matter how much bling you stick on it, it's never gonna beat a 4090. Yichuan. Principal Xiaoming just let out a huge sigh. The bigger the hype, the harder the fall. He really thought Yichuan was gonna be a miracle, but nope, he was just a punchline. Yichuan, though, totally unfazed. The Hokage's kid becomes the next Hokage. A general's kid becomes a general. The scapegoat's kid still the scapegoat. So yeah, the butcher's son becoming a butcher makes perfect sense. He just pulled up his stats. Talents, Swinebane, Divine Butcher's Blade. Skill, Blood Shadow Butcher. Swinebane deals plus 50% damage to pigs. Every pig you take down increases the bonus by another 1%. Damage from pigs is cut in half. Divine Butcher's Blade lets you pick a weapon to be your special knife. Every pig you off with it gives you plus 0.1 free stat points. Blood Shadow Butcher. Unleash a killer vibe that makes pigs freeze up in total fear for 1 second. After scrolling through his skills, even asterisk was a little shook. A God tier butcher was actually kinda wild. He literally got 2 talents that could level up forever. If he stacked Swinebane and Divine Butcher's Blade, it wouldn't matter how beefy the pig was. It'd probably go down in 1 hit. The only catch, it all only worked on pigs. Suddenly, Yichuan figured going a little crazy wasn't so bad. The world was full of pigs and it was open season. He walked off the altar, his face totally chill. You could feel it, all the shock, the disgust, the jokes, the pity, the glad it's not me vibes, all of it hitting him like daggers. To pull a God tier class just to end up as a butcher. The difference between the hype and the reality was insane. Tisk tisk. And here I was thinking Shanghai was about to get a real hero. Guess it's just a pig sticker. Lu Jinglong scoffed, totally loving every second of this. Seriously, all that hype for a butcher. What a loser. Jinglong, you're the only real one here at Qingchong High. His little crew immediately started backing him up. Hey, it's cool, Yichuan. Getting a God tier butcher just means you're following in your dad's footsteps. I bet Uncle Y is super proud. And my dad's gonna be thrilled too. While everyone else was throwing shade, Suling Sian stood on her toes and gave Yichuan's head a soft pat. Yichuan just nodded calm. He and Suling Xian were neighbors, and with both their parents being life class pros, they'd been dropping hints forever about setting the two of them up. Too bad that in Yichuan's head, Suling Xian had basically looked like a pig since they were kids, and he just could not get himself to fall for one. My turn, Yichuan. Think I'll get mom's tailor class or dad's brewer class? Suling Xian asked, sticking her tongue out playfully, before she headed for the awakening altar. The second her foot hit the altar, something wild happened. A huge pillar of thick black light shot into the sky, casting a shadow over everyone's face. In a split second, the whole noisy playground went dead quiet. Jaws dropped, eyes went wide, and you could hear a pin drop until one person's shout broke the silence. A legendary class. Somebody pulled a legendary class. Principal Xiaoming's jaw hit the floor again, as he stared at the light, completely stunned. You've got to be kidding me. First a trash tier god class, and now... Please don't let this be a trash tier legendary. Xiaoming's heart was hammering in his chest. Everyone there was just speechless. First a god tier and now a legendary. Shanghai was seriously making history this year. Every single eye was glued to the girl standing under the black light. Suling Xian, who was already gorgeous, now had this insane mysterious vibe thanks to the black glow, making it impossible to look away. Combat profession, legendary tier, frost soul sword immortal. Xiaoming's face went bright red. He was so hyped he almost jumped out of his chair. How long had it been since Qing Chong had seen a legendary combat class? Forget legendary. Even an asterisk epic asterisk combat class would have been a huge deal for the whole city. Suling? But like both her parents are life class pros. Is this some kind of crazy awakening mutation Xiaoing rushed over? Suling Xian, don't you worry. Whatever you need, Shanghai's got your back 100%. Thank you, Principal. Suling Xian gave a polite little smile, dipped her head, and just floated off the stage. In that moment, literally every single person in the school was staring at her. She was no question the main character now. Still, nobody dared to go up and suck up to her, because everyone knew that from now on, Suling Xian's life and theirs were on totally different tracks that would never ever cross. Congrats! Yichuan clapped with a smile, actually happy for her. Yichuan. Su Lingxian's eyes had this weird, complicated look in them, something you couldn't quite put a name on. Look, I know we've had our issues before, but from now on, those issues are gone. 'Cause we're not in the same league anymore. Everyone's head snapped over to Yichuan, their faces a mix of shock and like secondhand fear. A god-tier butcher and a legendary fighter. Childhood sweethearts totally over in a split second. Man, life is just a roller coaster. Suddenly, all the kids who only got life class awakenings were feeling way better about their situation. At least they weren't getting dumped as hard as Yichuan. Alright. Yichuan just nodded, totally chill. But to Su Lingxian and everyone else, it just looked like he was trying to act tough after totally breaking down on the inside. I know this has got to be a huge hit for you, but you're just a butcher. You're never gonna be anything special. Don't get mad at me. Her voice got all soft, like she felt sorry for him as she looked at him. If you're cool with it, then this is it. I really hope you're not gonna be all clingy about this. I'll handle my parents. She looked away. In her head, ripping the band-aid off now was way better before Yichuan got any crazy ideas. Yichuan was just speechless. A pig telling him not to be clingy for real. He just turned and walked away without looking back. Low-key glad to finally be done with this pig-headed girl. Su Lingxian, you want me to put him in his place? Show him what's what. Lu Jinglong's eyes were lit as he eagerly stepped up. He was thinking if he could get with Su Lingxian with her legendary combat class and his rare one, they would be total legends together. But when Su Lingxian totally blew him off, which was super awkward, Lu Jinglong aimed all that saltiness at Yichuan instead. Yo, butcher boy, get over here. Yichuan was totally zoned out thinking about where to find his next pigs to take down, so he didn't even hear Lu Jinglong. Seeing himself get ignored like he was invisible, Lu Jinglong's eyes narrowed, with a seriously nasty look in them. Some random butcher was really gonna ignore him. He was already mad at Yichuan for stealing his thunder before. Now he totally lost it. I'm talking to you. What are you, deaf? You think you can just walk off not happening? His voice had a super creepy vibe. Move. Yichuan looked up, giving the pig face in front of him a chill look, but that one look sent this insane chill down Lu Jinglong's spine like he was being sized up by a predator. His body totally flinched, and he stumbled back a few steps before wiping out on the ground. In that second, he felt like a pig on a chopping block just waiting for the axe to fall. Lu Jinglong's face went beet red, and he completely lost his cool. He seriously just got punked out and scared to the ground by a freaking butcher. You're pathetic. You think you can look at me like that? You're just some dude who kills pigs. Who do you even think you are? Totally seeing red, Lu Jinglong lunged, throwing a heavy punch right at Yichuan's face. It was a full power swing. He wasn't holding anything back. Yichuan was completely unfazed. No dodging, no hesitating, he just threw his own punch right back, counting on his insane stats. Why would he be scared of Lu Jinglong with the Swinebane boost? Yichuan's hit got a major power-up while Lu Jinglong's punch got nerfed by half. The second their fists met, crack. You could hear the bone snap. The psycho look on Lu Jinglong's face just froze. He totally did not see that coming. Screaming, he stumbled back, his fist bent at a sick angle, totally busted. No way, you're just the butcher. He was sweating bullets, his face was ghost white, he just couldn't believe it. I mean, everyone knows. Life classes can make you stronger. Sure, but compared to combat classes, their skills are basically useless in a fight. At the same level, you could have like 10 life class kids, and they still wouldn't beat one fighter. I'm a butcher. I've got strong hands. Makes sense, right? Yichuan said, totally deadpan. Lu Jinglong was about to lose it. Yichuan, I'm gonna kill you! With a furious scream, he whipped out his special weapon, the Void Long Blade. This thing can cut through steel like it's nothing. So get over here and beg, or don't say I didn't warn you. But in the next second, Lu Jinglong's Void Long Blade was suddenly covered in frost, like frozen solid. He even started icing over himself, and he couldn't move at all. It was Su Lingxian. She'd stepped in. Knock it off. I don't want you guys fighting over me. Yichuan, you see now, right? We're not in the same world anymore. This is the last time I'm saving you. Get out of Qingxinghai. If Lu Jinglong comes after you again, I'm not helping. From now on, we're done. And with that, she just turned and left. Yichuan just listened to all that completely baffled. Okay. If we're done here, I'm just gonna go home. Cut to Yichuan walking home by himself, and then out of nowhere, he was totally blocked by some rich lady's pampered pup. But to Yichuan, it was just a fat pig barking on the street with its little piglet. You lady, you gonna leash your piglet? Oh, my bad. I meant your pet. But what he got back was the rage-filled scream of a total Karen. Like you own this road or something, I'll walk wherever the heck I want. Hearing this, Yichuan just sighed. Welp, if that's how it's gonna be, don't blame me for what comes next. I'm literally insane. You think I'm scared of you? And with that, he yeeted the lady's dog straight to the great beyond. The rich woman dropped to her knees, crying over the body. My baby. Don't scare mommy like this. System alert. Took out one small pig. Level plus 0.1%. Swinebane bonus damage plus 1%. Seeing the system pop up, Yichuan's eyes totally lit up. No way it works. This system is just as unhinged as I am. The furious woman went ballistic and lunged at him, screaming, You monster, how dare you kill my son, picking on an old woman, I'm gonna end you. Yichuan just calmly whipped out his official, I'm certifiably crazy papers. We good, cause if not, I'm outta here. The rich lady just froze, staring down a legit madman. If he took out her dog or even her, it would all be for nothing. In the next second, she forced this super fake sweet smile. No problem at all, I was just passing by. Later, young man. And the scene changes. Yichuan gets back home. To his surprise, when his parents found out he'd awakened as a butcher, they weren't even a little bit bummed. Son, being a butcher ain't bad. Now you can for real take over your old man's business. Time flew by and it was late at night. While Yichuan was dead asleep, a shadowy figure appeared outside his parents' bedroom window. Then his dad's voice cut through. Now that my son has awakened as just a regular butcher, I'm asking you to leave our family alone. The shadow let out an icy chuckle. That's a surprise. You sure he's really your kid? Those words totally set his dad off. I'm only gonna say this one more time. Don't come back or you won't like what happens. Seeing how mad he was, the figure immediately backed off. Whoa, chill out. If your son is really just a butcher, the organization won't bother you anymore. With that, the shadow vanished into the night. Cut to the next day at the slaughterhouse. So Yichuan's dad brought him in to get the hang of the family biz. The very first mission, picking out the right butcher's knife. Yichuan's eyes immediately locked onto the blade sitting in the center. The second he picked it up, a system alert popped up. Butcher's knife selected. Divine Butcher's Blade activated. Every pig you slay with this bad boy grants you plus 0.1 free attribute points. For a butcher, step 1 was all about mastering the blade. A fat pig stood in front of him, squealing in pure terror. From behind, his dad patiently coached him. Give it a shot. See if you can hit its weak spot in one hit. With a flash of steel, Yichuan scored his first kill. The pig thrashed for a second before going totally still. Lights out. System alert. Slayed 1 normal pig with the butcher's knife. Level up 1%. Swinebane bonus damage plus 1%. Free attribute plus 0.1. Even his dad was shook. For a first try, it was seriously impressive, even if it wasn't a perfect shot. If you'd aimed for the carotid artery in the neck, it would have been an insta-kill. Yichuan nodded, dead serious. His dad patted his head. Son, I know chopping up pigs probably feels super lame at your age, but it's how our family makes a living. But Yichuan, hyped to get stronger, jumped in. Let me take care of all the pigs in the pen. Hearing that his dad was totally beaming, that's my boy. From now on, I can leave the pigs to you, no sweat. And just like that, with every swing of his blade, Yichuan kept on slaying pigs, and his level shot up like a rocket. He didn't stop to rest until the entire pen was empty. System alert. 49 pigs slayed. Swinebane bonus damage plus 100%. Attributes boosted. From 10 to 15 at his current level. Apprentice tier 5. Staring at the rows of hanging meat, another butcher joked, looks like your kid is addicted to killing pigs. He just blew through a whole week's worth of work in a single day. Yichuan's dad puffed his chest out proudly. You know it, my son is a god-tier butcher. Staring at the blade in his hand, Yichuan thought to himself. Now that he'd totally mastered the butcher's knife, it was time to explore the world. This place was completely overrun by monsters. Countries were a thing of the past. Humanity was united under the Human Federation, split into 9 special zones. Qingcheng was right on the edge of the 5th zone. The next day, Yichuan packed his gear and got ready to hunt some monsters outside the city walls. At the gate, a guard stopped him. You're a life-class profession. Outside the city, you can only go about 1 kilometer out. Any further and you're toast. Got it. Yichuan didn't say a thing, just gave a quick nod. A few seconds after he stepped into the forest, he heard a rustle in the bushes behind him. A gnarly-looking goblin holding a dagger leapt out. Yichuan instantly activated Blood Shadow Butcher. The goblin froze up, paralyzed by his killer aura for a solid second. Yichuan took his chance, swinging his butcher's knife. 1 clean hit and it was game over. System alert. Goblin pig slayed, level up 5%. Swinebane bonus damage plus 1%. Free attribute plus 0.1. Heh, knew it. Wild pigs give way better EXP than barn pigs. At this rate, I'll be max level in no time. Just then, a dozen pairs of glowing red eyes flickered in the dark, all locked right on him. Come on out and play, my little piggies. A whole mob of goblins shrieked and came charging right for Yichuan. He just swung his blade and every single swing dropped one. Like in a split second, a bunch of them were already down. To him, this was no different than butchering pigs in a pen. Soon it was down to 1 goblin shaking like a leaf. Oh, little piglet, time to go join your buddies. The goblin totally freaked and bolted. Yichuan just shadowed it, completely silent. He ended up in front of a pitch-black cave. So this must be the goblin's nest. Screams started echoing from inside as one after another the goblins dropped dead. System prompt. Profession God tier butcher. Level apprentice tier 6. Swinebane bonus. Damage to pigs plus 120%. Just then, a muffled whimper came from behind him. Yichuan turned and saw it was coming from behind a wooden door. He just lifted his foot and kicked the door down in one go. The scene inside made him stop for a sec. A girl was tied up tight with ropes trembling on the ground. Next to her, 2 newborn goblins were wailing non-stop, crying for milk. The girl's eyes filled with tears as she stared at Yichuan, her look screaming, please save me. Yichuan didn't say a thing, he just lifted his butcher knife. The girl totally thought this was the end for her. You could see the despair on her face. But instead, Yichuan's blade came down on the 2 baby goblins, ending them instantly. In the same exact motion, he sliced through their ropes, tying the girl up. Chill out, the goblins are all dead. Realizing all the goblins were gone, the girl just threw herself into Yichuan's arms, completely overwhelmed with relief. Thank you so much for saving me. I was so close to being, you know. Yichuan just said flatly, I didn't come here to save you. The girl didn't seem to care, and just kept talking. You killed all of these, that's actually insane. You have to be a combat class, right? What's your name? After they left the cave, Yichuan pointed her down the road back to the city. And yet for some reason she started quietly following him. Yichuan immediately pulled out his butcher knife and was like, Why are you following me? Are you some kind of goblin spy? Startled, the girl rushed to explain that she was just way too scared to go back alone. She told him, her name was Sian. She was trying to get a blood moonflower for her mom's birthday when she got snatched by the goblins. Hey, how about we make a deal? She suggested. If you help me find the blood moonflower, I'll get the best blacksmith in Ching to make you a new blade. The best blacksmith in Ching, does she even know what that would cost? Just go back! Stop following me or I'll cut you down myself. Sian pouted, all annoyed, and muttered to herself, I'm literally a 10, and this guy's giving me the cold shoulder. Is he brain dead or something? She hurried to catch up. Hey, do you even know who I am? My father is Bahai. Yichuan actually froze for a second. Sia Bahai, the leader of the Sea Clan, one of the 4 great families of Ching, a tier 9 master just one step away from being a grandmaster. If that was for real, with his money, forging 10 top-tier butcher knives would be nothing. At that, Yichuan's expression totally flipped, and he put on this super slick grin. Really? Sian proudly showed him a token. This is the Sia family's protection talisman. My dad gave it to me. Even a tier 9 fighter couldn't touch me. But those goblins were so sneaky. They only got me because they ambushed me. They couldn't get close otherwise, so they just locked me up. If not for that, I might have already... Yichuan, however, could not care less about her explanation. His eyes were glued to the token, studying it for a hot minute before he confirmed it was the real deal, a genuine Sia family artifact. Yichuan nodded. I believe you. I'll help you find the blood moonflower, and you'll get me a top-grade blade. Sian quickly stuck her hand out. Deal. She immediately pulled out a map. This is where the blood moonflower grows, but there's a blood moon python there. It's super dangerous. My intel says that snake is as strong as a tier 9 apprentice, so I don't know if you can handle it. But all he cared about was, I've never seen a python in my life. I wonder if its head looks like a pig's too. Come on, hurry up and lead the way. I'm actually getting excited. Sian almost tripped over his reaction. Did he even hear a word I just said? She thought. Still, if he could wipe out a whole goblin tribe alone, he had to be some kind of god-tier fighter. For some reason, though, he just gave off this weird vibe. Like super reliable and totally unreliable at the same time. As they kept going, a silver-horned rhino appeared about as strong as a tier 8 apprentice. Sian quickly said, Let's just sneak around it, no need for a pointless fight. But Yichuan stepped forward without even hesitating. Pointing right at the rhino, he yelled, You eat grass today, you'll eat people tomorrow. Can't let you live. Sian was floored by his messed-up logic. What kind of reason is that? Yichuan gripped his butcher knife and charged straight at the silver-horned rhino. The beast knew it was in danger right away, but after a few flashes from his blade, the rhino just crashed to the ground dead. Sian's eyes went huge. Am I hallucinating? With just one hit, he killed a beast as strong as a tier 8 apprentice. There's no way this guy is that OP. Meanwhile, his system dinged. Level up. Apprentice tier 7. Silver-horned pig slain. Swinebane bonus damage plus 122%. He glanced at the butcher knife in his hand, which was now chipped, and thought to himself, how much longer? Can this blade even last? At that moment, Sian ran over dying to know what his profession was. How could you kill a beast that powerful in one hit? When she found out. The idea that he was just some life-class butcher? Yeah, she was not buying it. Like no way some regular dude could pull that off. To get Nan to stop bugging him about it, Yichuan just shrugged, prying off the rhino's horn like it was nothing and was all, Chill, this thing was already super sick. That's why it went down so easy. And with how chill he looked, Nanan actually fell for that bogus story. So she told Yichuan the blood moonflower was close, and led him deeper into the woods. At the same time, the principal was heading into that same area with Su Lingxian and Lu Jinglong tagging along behind him. This field training has been a huge success, the principal said. You've all made me proud. Lu Jinglong was grinning like an idiot, totally thinking that if he just got a little more time with Su Lingxian, she'd be all his. But then the principal heard this weird sound behind them. Snap! Everyone whipped their heads around. And 2 people started walking out of the trees. When they saw it was Yichuan with some random girl, Lu Jinglong scoffed, muttering, This isn't a place for losers like you. But Yichuan just shot back, no hesitation, just passing through. Then this girl in a yellow outfit just had to open her mouth, acting like she knew everything. Passing through, get real. You just can't get over Sister Lingxian always following her around like some lost puppy. And you could tell Su Lingxian totally bought it. She looked at him with pure disgust. I told you before we're not in the same league, so let me say it again. Stop bothering me. Yichuan's hands balled into fists, and it was taking everything he had not to just go off on this clueless girl. Meanwhile, Lu Jinglong was smirking to himself. Last time Yichuan totally embarrassed him in front of Su Lingxian. This time he was going to get payback. He started laughing like a maniac and yelled, "Yichuan, just the guy I was looking for. I can't believe you were dumb enough to just walk right up to me." Then he summoned his weapon, and its blade had this seriously scary glow. One of his little followers gasped, "Whoa, that's a yellow-grade low-tier spirit weapon, a real one." Even the principal gave a little nod, like he was impressed that in just 2.5 days, Lu Jinglong had managed to turn his weapon into a spirit weapon. With his Tier 4 apprentice power, he could basically go head-to-head with a Tier 6. Sian put on her usual stuck-up face and said coldly, "Yichuan, I warned you. Leave Jinglong alone. This time I'm not stepping in to save you." Nanan got all nervous and whispered, "Do you have some major beef with these guys?" But Yichuan totally ignored her and just asked super calm, "So a yellow-grade low-tier spirit weapon. What's that worth?" Nanan just blinked all confused. Maybe 100 to 200,000 max. Yo, do you even get what's happening right now?" The next thing you know, there was this insane screech of metal on metal. Lu Jinglong's weapon was coming right down on Yichuan. Yichuan whipped out his butcher knife and blocked it like it was nothing. The principal's eyes went wide like, how did he just do that? But as Lu Jinglong put more force into it, the butcher knife finally couldn't take the heat from the spirit weapon and just snapped right in half. Lu Jinglong's ego blew up as he sneered, "Figured, you're just some dirty pig chopper. Get on your knees and beg now, and maybe I'll think about letting you walk away." The principal knew a regular blade was basically a piece of paper against a spirit weapon, but he didn't even move to stop it. Yichuan had messed with the wrong crowd, but Yichuan just tossed the broken knife aside and said ice cold, "To take you down, I don't even need a weapon." Lu Jinglong's face got all dark. This idiot still wasn't getting the picture. He let out a roar and swung his weapon down. Yichuan met it with a single punch. A second later, his fist slammed right into Lu Jinglong's gut. The guy went flying backward, literally launched through the air. He hit the ground like a sack of potatoes and slid right into the middle of everyone. You could hear gasps all around. Even the principal was totally speechless. This was the so-called prodigy who could take on a Tier 6 apprentice, and he just got wrecked with one punch. His little sidekick rushed over to try and pull him up. Lu Jinglong was mumbling that he was fine, but he was gritting his teeth, trying super hard not to pass out. Fainting right now would make him a total joke. That's when the principal just stared at Yichuan. You could see a crazy idea forming in his head, and then everyone heard him say, totally shocked, "Yichuan, are you telling me you're already a Tier 7 apprentice?" Yichuan just casually bent down and picked up the yellow-grade low-tier spirit weapon that Lu Jinglong dropped. "Not bad. It's definitely tougher than my butcher knife." All the students around them were completely shook that Yichuan was already at Tier 7. I mean, even Sian was only a Tier 6. The principal jumped in trying to make sense of it. It's possible. Even though life class and combat class jobs use the same tier system, the way they level up is totally different. Combat types have to go through insane training at the start, and they only get XP by fighting all the time. That's why they're usually kind of slow to level up at first. But once they get past that, they start leveling up like crazy. Life professions, on the other hand, have it way easier early on. Like, look at alchemists or blacksmiths. They don't have to fight one bit. They just get better at what they do and their levels just go up. Then the principal added, "And Yichuan is like a top-tier butcher. His family owns a whole pig farm. He's probably taken down a ton of them in the last 2 days. Leveling up fast at the beginning is totally normal for his class." Hearing that, it finally clicked for Sian. "Oh, I get it. But still, doesn't that seem kinda unfair to the combat types?" "Don't sweat it," the principal said. "Life class jobs get way harder to level up later. They'll have to grind a crazy number of pigs just to move up." But even as he said it, he was totally second-guessing himself. He was mostly just trying to calm the students down. For real, he'd never seen a life class level up this fast. Figuring there was no reason to stick around, Yichuan was about to bounce. But then Sian just had to open her mouth all full of herself. "Yichuan, why are you even bothering all this pig grinding and leveling up?" "It's all to get my attention, right? I'm already a shoo-in for Scarich Academy. Pretty soon you won't even be in my league." "Oh, just stop being so obsessed." Yichuan was literally stunned silent. "And what's that got to do with me? I'm so glad I'm done with a stubborn girl like you. Only a pig would be into another pig." Nanan, who had heard enough, finally stepped up. She was so not gonna let them talk to Yichuan like that. "Yichuan was here helping me find the blood moonflower, and he has to deal with you clueless morons." Some other girl nearby started whispering her own little theory. "I can't believe it. The loser Sian dumped already found a new girl that fast. Hey, new girl, pro tip, don't get involved with this nobody. Or else, your future is gonna be nothing but farming pigs with him." Nanan was so over it. With zero patience left, she just let loose with a slap. That one slap somehow hit all 5 of their faces at once, sending them stumbling back. Nobody saw that area of effect slap coming. The principal looked totally betrayed. "What did I even say? Why'd I get hit too?" Sian, who'd never been hit in her life, absolutely lost it. She hissed, "You're so dead. You're gonna regret that slap." Nanan knew she couldn't win a straight-up fight, so she immediately played her trump card. The principal's eyes bugged out when he saw the token. He scrambled to stop Sian. "You can't mess with her. That's the oldest daughter of the Sia family." His whole vibe changed in a split second. switching to this super fake butt-kissing smile as he turned to Nanan. Miss Sia, this was all a huge misunderstanding. Please be the bigger person and let it go. Nanan's voice was pure ice. Principal Xiao, how are your students so badly behaved? I don't care what she said to me, but she needs to apologize to Yichuan. Suling Xian was grinding her teeth, totally fuming, but she knew better than to say anything. The principal gave her a death glare, so she reluctantly mumbled a sorry to Yichuan, but in her head she was already plotting revenge against the Sia family. This is so not over. I'll make you pay for this 100-fold. Yichuan just waved it off like it was nothing. Whatever, it's cool. Without another word, he grabbed Nanan and was ready to ditch that whole scene. Over in the corner, Lu Jinglong finally remembered his spirit weapon. Give me back my Qingfeng blade! Yichuan totally blew him off. You want it, come and get it. In the end, all Lu Jinglong could do was watch helplessly as Yichuan walked away, with pure hate in his eyes. Freaking pig butcher! This isn't over! The scene changes, and now Yichuan and Nanan are in the Blood Moon Python's territory. Nanan checked out the map in her hand. Yep, this has gotta be the spot. We should probably be careful now. Just then, Yichuan equipped the stolen Qingfeng blade as his personal butcher knife. A system notification popped up. You have selected your exclusive butcher's knife. Godslayer's Edge is now active. Every pig you take down with this blade gives you a bonus 0.2 free attribute points. Right then, Yichuan was shocked when Nanan pulled out 2 orbs, one red and one blue, from inside her shirt. He pointed, kinda curious. What is that, a magic pocket? What are those things anyway? Nanan answered. They're Thunderfire orbs. Even a tier 9 fighter would get seriously messed up if they weren't expecting it. When the Blood Moon Python attacks, these are basically our get-out-of-jail-free card. Since they were for emergencies, Yichuan didn't ask any more questions. Instead, he figured he'd go check things out on his own. He jumped and landed right at the entrance to the Blood Moon Python's den. And surprised, the mouth of the cave was covered in blood moon flowers. And not just regular ones, but the super rare twin bloom kind. My luck is insane, he thought. But just then, Nanan's eyes got huge with terror, looking right past him. A giant blood-red python had snuck up right behind Yichuan. When he turned to see what she was looking at, all he saw was this thing that looked like a snake with a pig's head staring him down. Totally calm, he muttered. What's your problem? I only took one of your flowers. Don't tell me you're gonna be cheap about it. The blood serpent just froze. It had never met a human with this much nerve before. Getting the goods was the only thing on his mind. So Yichuan spun around and made a run for it. He yelled back at Nanan, Don't just stand there, take it out! Hearing him, Nanan grabbed the Thunderfire orb, and like a second later she chucked it as hard as she could. A massive explosion went off, and the shockwave literally knocked Yichuan off his feet. It was a totally reckless move, hurting the enemy 1,000 while getting yourself hurt 800. But since it was caught right in the middle of the blast, the blood serpent was completely wrecked. Its huge body shook for a second before it just fell right off the cliff. Yichuan handed her the blood crystal blossom he'd just snagged. Nanan's eyes totally lit up. Regular blood moon flowers just slow down aging, but this twin-petal blood crystal flower, it was basically the fountain of youth. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Once he realized how powerful it was, Yichuan knew he had to get another one for his mom. But to Nanan, it looked like he was going to give the other flower to her, she thought to herself. About time this airhead got the picture. But just as Yichuan went for the second flower, the injured blood serpent came roaring back. Jianan totally froze. If the Thunderfire Pearl couldn't even stop it. That meant this snake, even if it wasn't some crazy Ascension-level monster, was terrifyingly close to being a peak 9th rank apprentice. While her brain was still buffering, Yichuan turned and asked if she had another one of those fireballs. Sian snapped, Seriously, you think Thunderfire Pearls grow on trees? My dad only gave me one pair. With like 0 other options, Yichuan turned his gaze back to the serpent and unleashed his blood shadow butcher skill. In that moment, total fear flashed in the serpent's eyes. It looked like a pig just waiting to get smoked. Seizing on its hesitation, Yichuan yanked Xianan with him, grumbling, Are you crazy? This is our chance to bail! But instead of getting mad, Xianan blushed and said she'd been waiting for him. I guess because he'd risked his life to grab that blood crystal flower for her. Yichuan shot back instantly. Who said it was for you? It's for my mom. Xianan just froze, feeling like a complete clown. But before she could get lost in her feels, the blood serpent was already closing in on them. In Yichuan's head, though, dragging this stubborn girl around was nothing but a headache. She couldn't take a hint, and just kept whining in his ear, so he suddenly shoved her out of the way. Xianan's eyes went wide with terror. A second later, Yichuan was swallowed whole by the blood serpent. She snapped out of it and started freaking out, screaming his name over and over. But the serpent wasn't about to miss out on dessert. Just then, a gleaming blade ripped right through the serpent's body, and in a flash, it spun a full 360 degrees, slicing the thing clean in half. Jianan just stood there, stunned. The beast that almost ate her was now just a corpse. And when Yichuan crawled out of its stomach, she immediately threw herself at him, crying out, You're okay? Oh, thank God. I seriously thought you were about to become snake poop. But a second later, Jianan scrunched up her nose and covered it. totally grossed out by the stench coming off Yichuan. Yichuan, however, was just staring at his system panel completely dazed. He never expected the serpent to be a special grade beast, one that instantly leveled him up to an 8th rank apprentice. Before long, Yichuan and Xianan finally got back to town just in time to bump into an elder from the Xia family who was there to get her. Xianan pulled out the blood crystal flower with a huge smile and announced that she'd found it. The elder knew getting a flower like that was super dangerous and was about to chew her out for being so reckless. But when she explained that Yichuan protected her, so she was barely in any danger, the elder's eyes finally moved to him. The old man automatically asked who Yichuan was. When he heard the kid was just a regular pig butcher, he couldn't help but groan inside. How could Miss Xia trust some guy with a day job to protect her? And this kid looks totally clueless. Did he really kill the blood serpent? Even though he was super skeptical, the elder still slipped a gold ring off his finger saying, "This ring is worth 200,000. Think of it as a reward for protecting our young lady." But Yichuan just swatted the guy's hand away and said, "I don't want that. All I need is a pig-slaying knife." The elder almost choked. "Is this kid brain dead passing up a fortune for a rusty butcher knife?" Jianan quickly jumped in to explain, "Uncle Xiao Yichuan wants the best weapon forger in Qingcheng to make him a spirited weapon. I already promised him." Uncle Xiao was immediately on board, promising he'd handle it personally. But since the head of the Xiao family was urgently waiting for Xianan, she had to dip waving goodbye to Yichuan and promising she'd come back for him. Before leaving, though, Uncle Xiao's tone got super serious. "The Xia family can get you anything you want. But there's one thing we absolutely will not allow. Don't you dare get any funny ideas about our young lady." Yichuan was speechless, thinking to himself, "Your so-called young lady. She's a total airhead." Without even hesitating, Yichuan replied, "Relax. I promise I won't get tangled up with your young lady. All I want is a top-tier spear." Uncle Xiao finally looked satisfied. He told Yichuan that Xingqing's greatest forger, Master Ironheart, was on good terms with the Xia family. He'd put in a good word, and the master would come find him tomorrow. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, a slender, almost glowing foot landed next to the blood serpent's corpse. A cold voice muttered, "Killing my pet and stealing my spirit." "Jin Xinang, this human really has a death wish. I've got your scent. None of you are getting away." With that, a terrifying vibe erupted, sweeping across the whole area. Yichuan, of course, had no clue about any of this. He was just thinking about selling the beast parts he was holding for some cash. After all, his dad always said, anything from a savage beast can sell for a high price. Yichuan walked into the shop and told them what he was there for. The salesgirl looked totally floored. She didn't expect some skinny kid to take down a silverhorn rhino. She offered him 10,000 for it on the spot. Yichuan froze. His dad only made $100 butchering a pig, so this one rhino horn was worth 100 pigs. Suddenly, his eyes locked onto something behind the counter. He asked if 10,000 would be enough to buy it. The clerk explained it was golden scale soft armor made from fire serpent scales. Not only was its defense insane, but it also kept the person wearing it. Keeps you warm when it's cold and cool when it's hot. When Yichuan heard the price tag 150,000, he was totally shook. That meant his dad would have to butcher a crazy 1,500 pigs. Just thinking about that, he slammed Lu Jinglong's spirit weapon right on the counter. "How about I trade you this instead?" The salesgirl immediately clocked it as a low-grade yellow-tier spirit weapon. With a huge grin, she helped Yichuan try on the golden scale armor, saying, "OMG, this armor was basically made for you." But on the inside, she was thinking, this kid is loaded with so much rare loot. He's got to be from some high-ranking combat class. If I can lock him down, I'll be set for life. She immediately started sweet-talking him, explaining how a trade like this usually costs a 10,000 handling fee. But since he was so cute, she'd let it slide, on the condition that he find a way to, thank her later. She also kept bugging him about what he did for a living. Yichuan just casually dropped, "I'm a pig butcher." The salesgirl just froze. She'd imagined like a million possibilities, but butcher was definitely not one of them. A little later, Yichuan got back home and gave the blood crystal flower to his mom. At first, she was shocked. Then she got super suspicious. There was no way her son could get a treasure like that all by himself. Maybe he'd jacked it. Yichuan rushed to explain, "No way, I swear. I was just outside the city, saw these two giant snakes going at it, and I spotted a flower on the ground, so I just picked it up." His mom grabbed his face and laid into him. "You little punk. Do you have any idea how dangerous it is outside the city? We're just butchers. If something happened to you, what would we even do next time you are so not allowed to go?" "Got it, Mom. I won't do it again," Yichuan quickly promised. But his dad was all for it. He was hyping Yichuan up, shouting, "That's my boy!" Just then, an angry yell came from outside the house. "You get your butt out here!" The guy at the door was Lu Jinglong's dad. He used to be his dad's childhood buddy, but now he was a well-known 6th rank Ascension realm fighter in town. He was there to get his son's spirit weapon back. Yichuan's dad frowned and shot back, asking if he was serious. After all, his son was obviously just a life skill worker. How could he have possibly stolen a spirit weapon? But Lu Jinglong pointed right at Yichuan and screamed, "Dad, that's him! He's the one who took it!" Lu Xing's face went dark instantly. "Old friend, are you really this clueless? You can't even keep your own kid in line." And now he's out here stealing from people. Go on, ask your son if it's true. Seeing his dad get dissed like that, Yichuan knew he had to do something. He pointed right at Lu Jinglong and said coldly, "Your son tried to take me out. I only took his blade. Honestly, he got off easy." Lu Jinglong totally freaked and blurted out, "I was just trying to spar with Yichuan." There was no way he was going to admit what really happened. Lu Xing then laid it down. "Hand the weapon over now, and because of your dad, I'll let this go." But Yichuan just replied flatly, "Sorry, that blade's already been sold." In that moment, the entire place went dead quiet. When Lu Xing found out his son's spirit weapon had been sold, he absolutely lost his mind. He immediately demanded 1 million in compensation, warning that if he didn't get it, their years of friendship were over. Yichuan's dad knew perfectly well that a low-grade yellow-tier spirit weapon was only worth about 200,000, so he tried to get Lu Xing to chill on the price. But Lu Xing, flexing his Stage 6 Ascension realm power, threatened that if he didn't get the money, he would take a life instead. Seeing this, Yichuan was about to go off, but his dad stopped him and agreed to the insane demand, saying he just needed some time to pull the million together. Lu Xing just sneered as he turned to leave, warning that if the cash wasn't ready in half a month, things were going to get ugly, and they were done. With that, he grabbed his son Lu Jinglong and bounced. Not long after, in the living room, Yichuan's mom was freaking out, telling his dad they had to figure something out. But even if they sold everything they owned, they could never come up with that much money. Knowing he caused all this trouble for his family, Yichuan stepped up to calm them down, telling them not to worry. He swore he would find a way to fix it. Instead of getting mad, his father told him seriously that no matter what kind of mess he was in, he should never try to handle it all by himself. His family would always have his back. Super moved, Yichuan also realized something. He had to get a spirit weapon ASAP and level up his strength to the Ascension realm. That was the only way Lu Xing would stop being a threat. But then, totally out of the blue, his mom asked, "Yichuan, are you hiding something from us? That flower is crazy rare. How could a simple butcher like you just get it?" Yichuan knew he couldn't keep it a secret any longer, so he finally came clean about this weird condition he had. The second his parents heard the word weird, they both just froze solid. His mom was the first to snap out of it, asking, "By weird, do you mean you're not into girls?" Seeing Yichuan nod, she immediately stroked his head and comforted him. "It's okay, sweetie. If my son is into guys, then he's into guys. You just go chase your happiness, you hear me?" But then she added, "Just one thing, though. You should probably stay away from your father." Realizing this was spiraling, Yichuan quickly tried to explain, "Whoa, it's not about liking guys or girls. It's this mental thing. Whenever I look at any creature, I just see it as a pig." Hearing this, his parents froze all over again. A second later, his dad's eyes suddenly lit up. "Wait a minute. If you see every creature as a pig, doesn't that mean you can butcher anything and everything just like a pig?" Hearing his father's words, asterisk, asterisk. So yeah, everyone just kinda nodded along. But to his dad, Yichuan's whole situation was way past some normal job, so he decided to teach his son some real asterisk skills. That same night, his dad took him way out into the mountains, saying he was gonna pass down a butcher's blade technique he'd invented himself. Once he nailed it, even if someone tried to come for Yichuan, he'd be able to fight back. After all, not even $1 million was worth more than his son's life. The whole style was just 3 moves, and the secret sauce was that it was super simple. His dad gripped the butcher knife and took a deep breath. He raised the blade high over his head, aimed it at the night sky, and with a wild swing, he slashed down, and Yichuan totally lost his mind. 'Cause that one simple-looking slash literally ripped the night open, revealing a sky jam-packed with sparkling stars. His jaw hit the floor. He was positive he was hallucinating. His dad just calmly explained that the first move was called Falling Star. Then he got ready to show off the second move. With a total whoosh, he launched himself high into the air, the butcher knife in his hand, unleashing a streak of light blue lightning. A second later, with a slash called Fallen Moon, the actual moon up in the sky was split clean in half. Everything Yichuan thought he knew was just shattered. Was this seriously his dad? This was insane. Seeing how shook he was, his father explained it was just a trick with space, like folding what you see. As for the third strike, it was called Devouring Sun. With a quick swing of the knife, this terrifying power slammed into the ground and just exploded. The moves were so over the top that Yichuan couldn't resist making a joke. "Dad, are you sure this is for butchering pigs, or is it for taking out a guy like Marshal Zhu Beiji?" But his dad just told him to learn it and stop asking so many questions. He said the time would come when these techniques would be super useful. With that, he handed the butcher's knife to Yichuan and told him to start practicing like right now. But the second Yichuan grabbed what looked like a regular old butcher's knife, it felt like it weighed 2 tons. Even with the strength of an 8th rank apprentice, he was totally pancaked on the ground by its weight. So his dad had been butchering with a blade this ridiculously heavy the whole time, totally mind-blowing. Still remembering his dad's warning, Yichuan shakily lifted the knife and got ready to practice the first move. Falling Star. He had clearly way overestimated his own limits, so obviously he collapsed onto the ground again. His father, hiding behind a tree, just muttered to himself, "Silly kid, one day when you finally hit the sovereign realm, these 3 strikes will be enough to take down gods and..."